evening, ghoulies, and welcome to Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. And I'm back here in the laboratory because I've been picking up messages from the past here in my transfibrillating cannabinator that there's trouble in the past. And I think it's time for a little time travel again on Crimson Theater. Now, I've readjusted the trifibic flagellation enhancement simulator, and I believe that time travel could be possible in this particular instance. And I really don't know what to say, ghoulies, except, of course, tonight's movie is the Mexican Fiesta, the Brainiac. So, you know, break out your tamales, your burritos, have a chicken fiesta gordito, and let's roll right on into this one. I'm telling you what, reminds me a lot of Black Sunday, the way the whole thing starts out. And, you know, the Mexican movies are pretty creepy and atmospheric. I have to give them an A+ for atmosphere. And I thought this was a rather clever little film, quite strange. Also, it's, you know, of course, the Brainiac, the Baron of Terror. Quite interesting. And now, who do I see coming my way through this metamorphosis of time continuum? Who could this strange fellow be?
I have come from the past, Herr Doctor.
You are not that wizard, are you? No, he is not the wizard.
I have come from the past.
You have come from the past. Show your face.
If I must.
You must on Crimson Theater. It's just the way it is. Ah, I see. I've not seen you before. And what is your name?
I am a distant from Igor. Very distant.
You're very distant from Igor.
The 14th century.
Yes, and why have you come to me? Is it one of my experiments has brought you here?
Yes, Herr Doctor. To warn you of the past and your queen.
My queen?
You have forgotten your queen.
I have forgotten my queen?
Yes, Herr Doctor.
I don't recall a queen. Was this some past episode of dementia that I have escaped?
Oh, do you not know why? Dearest has not been around for a while.
No, I have not seen her. I thought she was digging up tulip bulbs.
We have left her back in the 14th century.
How did she get back there? She'll never fit in. They'll burn her as a witch.
Herr Doctor, I have only come to warn you.
Okay, well, we've got warnings. You want to hang out? I'm going to read the mail.
Mail up this way?
Yes, we don't have a courier. This one here says it's from Chris Fisher. Tell the doctor to send his poor old cousins, Chris and Dave Fisher, a t-shirt to Florida. We could do some advertising for him in Tampa. I think we would more than likely want to send them a videotape. They could find the local access station in Florida, and Crimson Theater could be rolling along. And, you know, things have been going quite well in Milwaukee, so I don't need this time travel trouble. But if you tell me Dearest is in danger, I may have to do something about this. There's no doubt about it. There's all sorts of minions of evil trying to upset Dearest. But, you know, that's basically what it says. Chris and Dave Fisher, they're long-lost cousins of Dr. Destruction. And we'll have to get on that. Well, I don't have Igor around to do. Are you going to be able to stay long, or you don't know?
My time is short, Herr Doctor. I could come back and stay for a while. But
okay.
Once he gets back, where Dearest is in trouble, and I will have to probably be forced to take you with me, where I will require your assistance, your expertise.
Well, I don't know if I'm ready to believe such a thing. Anyway, I don't know who John Gustin is. Maybe I ran into him on one of those binges, you know, Fear and Loathing in Kenosha. Dale, here's the picture I made of you. Peace, John Gustin. And I think Lampini will get a big kick out of this picture. Looks like something Lampini himself might have drawn. And, you know, that kind of looks like a distant relative, too, more than it looks like myself there. And it says KingGusGraphics.com. Interesting. Looks like I'm sort of wearing a cummerbund there. I never owned one of those. And likely won't, since Mike Bjorn and the doctor don't speak these days. I don't know. We'll get into that later, but maybe, you know, there's always a chance of resolution in Kenosha. Nah, not. Anyway, here's another strange one. Dear Dr. Destruction, I have to warn you there's a person with dark hair near to you who wants to do you harm, but this person will soon disappear from your life. Could this be dearest? P.S. The bottle of Kaopeptate silver I gave you has expired. Can I have the bottle back? Snake in the grass, or is it Wayne in my ass? I don't know. One of the two probably boils down to the same thing, ghoulies. Anyway, tonight's feature, the Brainiac. This is about a crazed baron of terror who was sentenced to death for being, what's walking across the camera there? We've got all kinds of beasts in the castle. Anyway, Baron of Terror, he comes back from the past, go figure, to eat brains in the 1969 or 61. I know I watched it, I think, but of course, the doctor was, he was in great dire fear and loathing at the time. But anyway, ghoulies, we did get a little bit of footage when the troupe of Rocky Horror kids from the Oriental Theater up in Milwaukee, the sensualdaydreamers.com, I believe it was, came to Parkside on a Thursday night and did their performance of Rocky Horror, something you probably never heard of. Or have you?
Rocky Horror?
He has no...
Alien to me.
Yes, a lot of things are alien to me there, buddy. But anyway, ghoulies, we'll get to that footage a little bit later on. Right now, you get to the Brainiac, the Baron of Terror, on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater, Fear and Loathing in Kenosha.
What's a Crimson Theater?
Oh. All right, ghoulies. We still got this one hanging out here. It's terrifying.
He's been absorbed into the magic. It's okay, you are
You
welcome.
can hang out. I don't know what he knows of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but as you know, ghoulies, just by chance, the doc ended up at the Rocky Horror Picture Show that was at Parkside, and the Sensual Daydreamers, they're a little theater troupe that acts out the Rocky Horror characters while the movie's playing. We caught up with some of them, and of course, did I tell you the guy that was playing, what's his name, Meatloaf's part?
Eddie.
It was what's his name? Beer City Mike, is that his name?
Beer City Mike.
Yeah, he was there, and I also remember the other guy. You remember Della in the Smoothies?
Yes.
I can't remember the guy's name. I think it was Justin. We'll find out in the footage. The doctor's mind is slipping with all these strange things going on. But in any case, he played the Riff Raff character. They're great. For any of you people that don't know what the Rocky Horror Picture Show was about, and it does get a little bit lost with everyone shouting things at the movie, but that's truly the only way. That's the only way that you should see it. If you've seen it on video, you have no concept of what was possibly going on. And if you've seen it on VH1, well, that's completely wrong.
You should have seen it
at the
Roosevelt
Roosevelt
Theater.
Theater back before anybody dressed like the characters. I remember everyone dressed like the Time Warpers and brought squirt guns to try to wreck your makeup. Yeah, that was in the 70s, ghoulies, and that was probably the greatest time, one of the greatest times that ever was had here in Kenosha. Anyway, Rocky Horror Picture Show manages to combine horror movie nostalgia with 70s glam rock and sort of sexual taboos. And lots of camp. A little bit of Joan Crawford mixed with a little Meatloaf, and a little bit of sheer horror with the comedy. For the most part, is a comedy, but the actual scene of Frankenfurter cutting Meatloaf up, remember that? And the screaming after that was probably one of the greatest shots in horror history. That was quite effective. So this movie, the Rocky Horror Picture Show,
was a great horror movie.
To me, it is the greatest rock and roll movie ever made. Rocky Horror. It was the very secret
of that time
itself. Yes, it was quite the great movie. But anyway, I can go on and on about that. But we're going to get into that Rocky Horror footage that we shot at Parkside about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Oh, you weren't there. You know nothing of this.
Lampini wasn't there either.
Okay, you weren't there either. But you were there in spirit, I know that.
But of course.
Okay, ghoulies. Anyway, you get to that beautiful Parkside Rocky Horror footage. Please, we're here at UW Parkside, and they're premiering, guess what? Rocky Horror Picture Show. The cult classic from the 1970s that mixed glam rock with monster movie nostalgia and took the midnight movies by storm. I see we got a sign over here. If it's wet or if it burns, it's not, repeat, not allowed inside. So I guess refreshments can be purchased elsewhere. So I'm sure, does that mean no toilet paper and popcorn?
You can have toilet paper.
Popcorn burns, doesn't it?
You can
Especially if you get the cheap brand. Anyway, Ghoulies, we're gonna check it out inside and see if we can hook up with the cast of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. They're already from Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
See, they've come a long way for a Thursday night here in somewhere in the wetlands of Kenosha. All right, Ghoulies, we're still here waiting in line for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and we ran into somebody here that's kind of resembles the Eddie character. He also looks like perhaps a distant relative of the Docs. I don't know, but you've seen the Rocky Horror Show obviously before. Or
Yeah, big fan of Rocky.
big fan of. I've been a fan since it came out.
Fan for probably
Really.
since I saw it.
What's your overall interpretation of what the movie's meaning supposed to be?
Have fun.
That'll work for the Doc. I don't know. It's just to me it incorporates the early days of glam rock, Alice Cooper, David Bowie, New York Dolls, with lots of good old horror nostalgia. The red curtain in the movie looks a lot like the one in the old Roosevelt Theater, Ghoulies. That's where the Doc saw it for the first time. And back then, no one even knew what to do yet, but then everybody just kind of dressed like the Time Warpers instead of the characters. No one was doing that yet. And they'd all bring squirt guns, and they'd try to squirt your makeup in the wrecking. That was the big thing back then. But as you look over here, you see some other eager, over there, cameraman, you see some other eager, yes, this gentleman's he's very proud. He's gonna, like he's all his friends and see something like that. All right. All right, Ghoulies, things are starting to get quite fun, and we've run into, obviously you play the Janet character, and you're from the Milwaukee group that does it at the Oriental, I imagine, right? And when did you first see Rocky Horror, and when did you decide to really get involved with it?
I didn't see it until actually in college, and I didn't come back until a couple years later. One of my friends was going to the show, asked if I wanted to come along, and went there, saw everyone shouting and getting into it, and I just liked it ever since. So.
Yeah. Do you like it? Watch it sometimes without everyone, like at home where it's quiet, so you can pick up on the little hidden things in the movie.
Well, we have to practice the blocking so we can try and get as close to the characters as possible. So I end up watching the movie at least once before every show. But I have sat down with just nobody shouting to watch it.
Well, sometimes I always saw a deeper meaning in it. Sometimes that gets lost, but that's okay. Sometimes that gets lost because I think the movie did have sort of a serious side. It really wasn't intended, of course, for this sort of phenomenon to have happened, but thank God it did. I've enjoyed it for many years. I saw it back in the 70s. It was at the Roosevelt Theater, and people didn't even dress as the characters yet. They were just as mainly like the Time Warpers. They'd all bring squirt guns and try to wreck your makeup. And all of us, we all wore makeup all the time anyway because that's just the way we were. As many Ghoulies know how that went, but it's just a really impressive movie. I think great soundtrack. To me, it's the greatest rock and roll movie I think that was ever made. Period. In my book, and obviously you've been quite affected yourself.
Right.
And you make a very good Janet.
Well, thanks.
Very impressed. And I hope you introduce us to the rest of the cast. And you've got a Frankfurter somewhere, right?
Yes, get his makeup on.
Is he a good Frankfurter?
He's very charismatic and likes his role very, very much. So.
Oh, I see. Well, that's great. And a riffraff and the whole. Awesome. I can't wait, Ghoulies. A little fun on a Thursday night here in Kenowhere. So we're going to just wander around, and then we'll catch up to some more people down the road. And if you want to help us out with that, we'd love to meet everybody.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. And wait, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Joanna.
Joanna. Okay, Ghoulies, well, we're going to wander around, see what kind of trouble we can find on Dr. Destruction's big Rocky Horror expose. That's what we'll call it. We never know these things,
Sounds
We
good.
don't rehearse. Maybe we ought to. Nah. Good try. All right, Ghoulies, we're getting ready for the big feature, Rocky Horror Picture Show. And we've run into some of the other cast members that are from Milwaukee. You guys, you do it up at the Oriental, right?
Yep.
And would you give me your name? I know you play in Columbia, right?
My name's Ashley.
Ashley, and when did you first get into the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I started the cast just over 2 years ago. I've been going for 5-6 years.
Awesome.
Oh,
And of course, you're playing Magenta. And what's your name?
Annie.
Annie. And what attracted you to Magenta's character in particular?
Well, I used to play Janet. She was really boring.
That's, I always thought that Magenta didn't get enough enough time on the movie myself. And you're playing.
Oh, I play Brad.
You're playing Brad.
Yeah.
Brad Majors. And what drew you to the Brad Majors part?
Well, I like getting stripped by the girls, and I get to wear underwear for most of the show.
Right.
So it fit me pretty well.
So we're gonna have a long stint of seeing you in underwear tonight, obviously.
Usually.
Yeah, we
I see. See, the cameraman here, he's never been, he's seen it on video, but he's never been to a live show.
So I guess that would make him a virgin then.
Yes, that's what I was trying to explain to him before. I'm glad I was waiting to see if that was going to come up. But yeah, we'd love to catch some of you guys doing your show tonight, and join in or catch you after the show all together. And great that you're doing what you're doing. I started watching it back when it came out. So about 420 years ago, Coolies. Well, they all know that.
Make that like 27 years ago.
What's that? Probably something. It's longer than that.
75.
Yeah. So that means it's 29.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
29.
30th anniversary's coming up, huh? And of course, I know you guys probably check out the Crimson Theater up in Milwaukee, right? My show.
I do.
Have you seen it before? Oh, I'm sorry. What's your favorite monster movie? Godzilla? Yeah, they got to get some Godzilla movies out here. I just found out about this last minute and really was excited about it. So we had to come out here and include it on one of our shows, a little Rocky Horror expose. Anyway, Ghoulies, who knows what's next? You'll find out. Hey, Ghoulies, we finally made it into the theater here. We caught up with Jerry, who plays, of course, Riff Raff. Also was in a local band, Dell and the Smoothies, for some of you that might remember. You make a great Riff Raff, by the way. Outstanding. But, when did you first get into Rocky Horror?
I've been doing it longer than I'd like to admit. I believe about 7 years.
7 years, wow. And it's getting near its 30th anniversary, I think. It'll be next year, probably. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. And it's going to be a great time. We want to hook up with everybody. We interviewed some of your other cast members. And you're doing it up in Milwaukee, of course, at the Oriental.
We're in Milwaukee the first and third Saturday of every month.
Wow, awesome. We'll have to catch up with them up there, too, as well.
Feel free.
And any special words for someone that might have never seen this in a theater before?
It's deliciously decadent. You must come and experience it for yourself.
I'll tell you what, Ghoulies, you ought to go check it out up at the Oriental if you aren't here tonight. Anyway, Ghoulies, who knows what's next? We'll catch up to some other cast members and other strange people too. There's a lot of other just weirdos.
There's more strange people in Kenosha than per square foot than anywhere else in the world.
I believe this is true.
Maybe they have a telephone. I can do that. Although, darling, there's no sense in as it clung to her thigh. How I started to cry. 'Cause I wanted to be dressed.
All right, ghoulies, there you are. I hope you enjoyed the Brainiac, the Baron of Terror. I thought this one was quite a fun feature, and I might actually have to stay up and watch the show this week just to watch it. Fury of the Wolfman. Well, we watched that one in the studio, didn't we? Oh, you weren't here. I forgot. Well, you were here, though. Fury of the Wolfman. Interesting. We will get out on Bray Road and investigate those werewolf stories. Of course, Rocky Horror Picture Show footage. Maybe you got a little bit of clue of the real deal of Rocky Horror. And I've heard, rumor has it, that Richard O'Brien, who is the creator and also played Riff Raff in the movie, may be visiting one of the Kenosha universities this fall. The doc would most definitely try to hook up with that.
He wrote it.
He wrote it. He wrote the music. It was fantastic. You know, it's awful amazing, though, how someone can write an extremely awesome film like Rocky Horror and turn it around and make Shock Treatment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, probably Shock Treatment's actually the sequel to Rocky Horror. Have you ever seen that? Yeah, actually, it is the sequel. Of course, Frankenfurter isn't in it.
What's a sequel?
It's a sort of a sequel without the slurring. Anyway, if you get a chance, check it out. It's pretty interesting. I really shouldn't have dissed it like that. Shouldn't have done that at all. We want to remind you, ghoulies, of course, about us being up at the Trollenberg on the 22nd, hopefully, in May 22nd, of course, in Milwaukee. And things for our Milwaukee viewers, we just love the response we're getting from Milwaukee, and we hope to get out in more cities. And you know, we're getting mail from Florida. I don't know how they're seeing the shows, but of course, if you want to look for certain episodes, you can always email us, I suppose, for some certain episodes. Yeah, if there was a cameraman in the castle, there would be a close-up of that. I don't know if that's going to be an authorized.
Excellent.
Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.
Beautiful.
Well, the thing is, I have to draw in some parts there. Interesting, to say the least. I love it. But you know,
I drew it.
I'm heading for 430. And you know, last year, of course, I had my 420th. No one got the 420.
Except Wayne.
Yeah, no, he didn't get it. He already got so much in the past that he'll never be the same again. The poor guy. I don't know. I guess he really hasn't done me no physically any harm. But you know, this is the kind of little parasite, much like a certain individual here that likes to put the religious tracks in my laboratory equipment. You got to wonder if one of these guys is going to flip out someday and go shoot somebody. Of course, the bullets would go right through this school, but you never know. I don't need the inconvenience at any rate.
It's got to be silver to kill me.
Yes, I guess so, because there was a werewolf in the dorms.
Look for the cougar still on the loose.
Now this one's starting to worry me here. What is your problem?
Looks
Like
like a distant relative.
Talk to us.
Yeah? A numbskull?
What are you trying to
That would be
say?
him.
I don't know. What are you trying to say? Are you going to sum it up here?
You must trust the reason. You must trust the reason. It is time.
What is time?
Time.
Is it time to
You
do
must trust the reason.
What do you make
Must.
of this name, Petey?
Trust
What he says is the
the
truth.
reason.
What he says is the
Listen
truth.
to what I say.
What he says is the truth, my friend. I shall travel with you.
It is time.
Itself?
Fear not.
Time.
I don't know, ghoulies.
Go.
I'm are, ghoulies. As you know, Crimson Theater is in dire need of funding and things that are, you know, the castle's in ruins, and we need your solid cash. Please send us your money. We need it, immediate donations. This fellow brought no money to the show.
I need soap.
He needs soap. We need new laboratory equipment. But honestly, folks, if you want some better movies, we need some better money. Want your money now. 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 So send your hard-earned cash to Dr. Destruction at the address below. Not that address, the address below that
Sons
one.
of MP.
Yep. Send it to Dr. Destruction at the address below. That's right, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Because we need your money now, and we want your money now. Come and meet us live! Want your money now. Want your money now. Want your money, want your money now. We need your money, so please send it to the address below. Now you get back to the Brainiac on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater, and we want your money now.